Welcome back to another Joe PK episode, fellow foragers. This time we are on a mission, swimming to a rock a mile offshore, free diving for food. On the way we dive an awesome wreck, we come across some amazing sea life, and we gather enough seafood both to have a cook up on the shore and to take some home to our families. Stay tuned for the action.
Welcome back to the channel. It's me, Joe PK. I'm out with Nick today, and the mission is to try and swim to this rock. It doesn't look that far away, but it's actually about a mile away. So we're going to have to go along the coast and then across the channel. And as you can see, I'm very, very excited to see what we can find there. Hopefully there's some good sea life. Hopefully we can catch something for tea as well. So stick around for the adventure. Thought I'd do a very, very quick gear run through for those interested. Today I'm taking starter point 90 reel gun because we are going to try and dive a wreck. Actually, it's about 300 meters offshore, and if there's bigger fish, it'd be great to be able to let them run a bit, or potentially free spool to the surface instead of having to tow the fish all the way to the top. For shore diving, Bochar Monday or 2 backpack has been just old faithful, really. I bought this one so long ago. Bulletproof, love it, and the zips are plastic as well, so you know they don't corrode, but they're also really, really strong. Start point fins, you've all seen them before. I love them just because they're so light. Don't even know they're on your feet. Start point suit, I'm wearing a 7mm top, 5mm bottoms today. The mask I've never mentioned before, but this is actually a Chrissy Perla mask. It's about 20 quid, I think 25 now, but I bought this mask from Anthony at the spearfishing store 10 years ago, and it's still going strong, so what more do you need? Love this mask. So yeah, I'm using the homemade bodyboard float today. I'm probably going to get a proper Bochar plumer or something, treat myself to that this summer. This one's about to fall to pieces. A very, very important piece of the puzzle is the elastic float line. The elastic float line means that, well, this line is 8 meters long, but this will keep stretching to about 30 meters. It will just keep going, which means I don't really notice the floats there. It's a shock absorber as the waves hit the float, and I just love it. I couldn't go back to a static line. I just hate them. Obviously you need it for shooting big fish, but here this is absolutely fine. So we're going to gear up, head along the coast, maybe have a look for lobsters, pop out to the wreck, and if we can, the challenge is to make it to the rock. Hopefully see you there. We've got this perfect little shore dive entry spot here. There's a bit of swell breaking on the rocks, so this is really luxury. Just have to be a bit careful going over the rocks here. In my socks, want to tear them. Little jump in and we're good. Don't forget, before you use your mask, to spit in it and rub it round and rinse it out.
Very elegant. Well, we can't believe our luck. Last week the weather was terrible, but we found a spot where the wind is offshore, there's not much swell, and the visibility is, well, we can see the bottom in 10 meters easily. The algae's died back, and every year after the algal bloom It's usually really, really clear. And we're trying to get to this wreck. It's in about 15 metres of water. We don't have a GPS, so we're doing it how they did in the old days. We're having to line up the end of this headland with the end of that rock, and then we should be near the wreck, and then we'll do some bounce dives and see if we can find it. So, off we go.
So welcome back underwater, people. As you can see, conditions absolutely beautiful, and we cheated a bit because we could actually just make out the outline of the wreck from the surface, which is absolutely amazing. The top of the structure being about 15 meters deep. We were so happy to have such good visibility at last. And just a quick word of caution, this video, what we're doing is quite extreme, swimming quite a long way, diving a wreck in 17 meters of water. So please don't try and copy any of this, what we're doing, especially if you don't have a significant amount of experience, because whenever you're swimming far offshore, you really are at the will of tidal streams and all kinds of dangers with the weather. So please don't try and copy this if you don't have, sort of significant levels of experience. But yeah, clip my float off to a piece of the wreckage. This elastic line just staying tight, keeping my float directly above. No line winder needed. Descending down, dive 1. Again heading down to the edge of the wreck to do an aspetto, which means just waiting on the bottom very quietly to see what's on offer. You can see a couple of pollock gliding straight in. Pollock are a very curious fish. You can see they're coming right in here to check me out. Both good sizes, but I just leave these fish be. Don't want to disturb the wreck too much at this stage, so I can see what kind of species are on offer. My second dive, I find this awesome piece of structure. Looks like a piece of the wreckage which had possibly windows in, still standing quite tall up off the seabed here, covered in dead man's fingers and all kinds of sessile life forms. It was pretty awesome to see. Just love wreck diving. I have my suspicions. There's a big pollock just the other side of this piece of structure. I can just feel it, so I do a few noises in the back of the throat because I might be able to tempt him out behind this gap. But after no joy, I creep very slowly forward, just expecting to see a big fish the other side. But there's nothing there. Not right on this occasion. But I think with spearfishing, it's always worth anticipating things like that. If you see an area that you really think is going to hold a fish, anticipate it's there and move very quietly to that area as if it's going to be there, and who knows, 5 times out of 10 you'll probably be right. You can see diving down here onto the main body of the wreck. This was a pretty big ship in its time. You could easily mistake it for a big rocky platform, though now it's covered in all kinds of seaweed, and I'm just looking under this hole, just imagining the amount of crabs and lobsters that probably live under this structure. On my 4th dive, I go down and find a bit more of a broken up, jaggedy metal going on, slightly longer kelp on, and pollock absolutely love this kind of terrain. And lo and behold, one emerges from a wreck. He's curious, just got to be patient and let him come right in. There's no point rushing the shot. Reach out the start point, Labrax 90, get a good shot in. Really happy with that. Beautiful fish to start this adventure off, and yeah, that's all the fish I'll need to take off this wreck. Don't really want to be freezing fish at this time of year. Absolutely perfect to enjoy with the whole family.
Very pleased with that dive. Lovely, lovely pollock in 16 metres exactly. Beautiful fish. This will be fish and chips, that is for sure.
So I unhook my float from the wreck and start my journey to the rock, diving as I go. I just love this bit of drone footage, just showing how insignificant we are in the ocean. You can see also my float really should have a flag on. I've left my flag at home, and this is a big breach of safety protocol really. Fortunately, we're in an area where, well, it's extremely remote. It's a long way from any harbours, so the chances of there actually being any boats are extremely low, but that's still not an excuse. Diving down here to the seabed, you can see really healthy seabed. So many different types of clam, spiny starfish, and there are some giant scallops buried in the sand too. Awesome spotted ray here. And yeah, there's just so much life, it's amazing. I'm hoping to see a place, but I don't seem to see so many place around anymore. But still awesome to see so many clams, and some giant scallops are never going to be turned down. Very happy with those.
Well, we made it to the rock over a couple of hours in the water, drifting with the tide, diving the wreck, drifting on, pollock, some scallops. Just as I got to the rock here, huge spider crab out walking, and the sun's out. It is a beautiful day. What more could you want? It's low tide now, so we might have a little mooch around for some lobsters. Birds behind me are going absolutely crazy. It's just birds on birds on birds. Oh, it's just so awesome here. If you look down here, see there's eggshells. They've obviously, been busy parents. So, yeah, I'll leave them to it because they're getting a bit cross with me. And see what we can find.
So after a little rest at the rock, it's time to go and look for some crustaceans. Now, because the rock is quite far out to sea, the water right next to it is quite deep. Here, where it gave way to the sand, we're in about 13 metres. I could just see this shadow moving along the seabed from the surface. Awesome spider crab. Look at the size of those claws. Absolutely full of delicious sweet crab meat.
Lobster.
So after our last episode, if you watched that one, we found loads and loads of lobsters, but none of them were quite big enough to take, so I was itching to try and find a lobster. I saw a really telltale sign of a lobster hole here, a nice little sand patch giving way to a cave. Very curious old male lobster. Get my hand behind, get ready as quick as possible, make a lunge for it, secure the lobster. Awesome way to end an amazingly epic shore dive. Nice big lobster. Couldn't be happier.
We've probably had one of my most amazing shore dives ever. We've been in the water somehow for 6 hours, swum quite a long way, but we've just, look what we've caught. We've got scallops, spider crabs, pollocks, lobsters. So it's been an absolutely amazing day. Feeling quite exhausted now, so time to have some food. We're going to have scallops starter cooked in the frying pan. We're going to cook up one of these spiders because they are just delicious at the moment, and that means we can take the fish and lobsters home to our families. But yeah, right now what I need is food. So I'm intrigued to see what the condition of these scallops is, so let's have a look. I'm hoping there'll be some nice big juicy roes. You seeing what I'm seeing? That's insane. Look at that. The last time I saw a scallop like that was in Scotland. That is insane. See if they're all similar. Oh, lovely. Yeah, these are really, really, really good condition. These really vivid roes tell me that these are in really, really good condition and really healthy. So we'll fry these up with a bit of ginger, garlic, chilli, and then we'll have a linguine with the spider crab. That one's got a reddish colour to it, all the minerals in it. Here's the starter, much needed, haven't eaten in 6 hours. Delicious. Yeah, these are really something special. I wonder if it's because they're quite spread out, they aren't competing so much for nutrients, so they're able to grow bigger. But I don't know. They are. Really quite special. The flavour is absolutely stunning. So the spider crab is simmering. The spider crab will need about 10 minutes, and then it's going to go in the linguine with these tomatoes. It will be shallow fried with garlic, lemon juice, and then the pasta will go in, and it's going to be just delicious. We truly do need all this food after a long day's diving, and tomatoes are really, really good after a day's diving because your body gets quite a lot of free radicals from lots of free diving, so you need antioxidants after diving. That's why sometimes you feel really, really exhausted. So it's really nice to take our time, cook some high quality food on the beach and enjoy the scenery as the sun goes down. So we have just got some tomatoes and garlic on a low heat. We'll let them stew away for 20 minutes or so for adding a squeeze of lemon, the spider crab, and then we'll just toss the pasta in. I like to pick the crab, is to crack each claw off and then just pull the meat off with a knife like that. We don't actually have any crab pickers unfortunately, but this should do the job quite well. This one has an okay yield. It's not as good as the one I had last week, but there's some meat in there. There'll be plenty for tonight's meal. And then just do each one in turn.
and scrape the meat off. This one will need to be cracked open, but hopefully that one's, yeah, got loads of meat in. Just use the heel of the knife. Chip, chip, chip. You can see there's a fair amount in there, which is good to see. But I find these spider crabs really do vary. Some are absolutely packed and others not so much. So you never know. Yeah, getting quite a good yield out of these claws. So the crabby pasta is always a win. So simple to make and very, very delicious indeed. So we hope you enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed making it, and I think it just goes to show really, a lot of people come into Start Point spearfishing or comment on my channel about how they feel they need a boat to have fun in the water, catch fish, lobsters, crabs. You know, you don't. All you need is a wetsuit, mask, snorkel, fins, and a beach to have a whole load of fun. And actually, without all the admin and fueling the boat and launching it and all the rest of it, it's just a lovely day out. And now we can just have some food as the sun goes down by the fire without care in the world. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. 50% of you aren't subscribed, YouTube tells me, so hit that subscribe button if you want more updates, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you.